Let's talk about exes, specifically the ones who vanish like ninjas in the night, leaving you in a whirlwind of confusion and heartache. You might find yourself staring at your phone, waiting for a message that never comes, or walking alone at night, replaying every moment in your head, trying to figure out where it all went wrong. It's a gut-wrenching experience, and it can leave you questioning your worth and wondering if they ever cared at all. But here's the kicker: they probably did. It's just that their way of showing it, or rather not showing it, is deeply rooted in their psychological makeup. You see, some people, bless their hearts, are wired with an avoidant attachment style. This isn't something they choose. It's often a result of their upbringing and early life experiences. They might have grown up in an environment where emotional expression was discouraged or even punished, leading them to develop a coping mechanism that involves distancing themselves from emotional intimacy. So, while you might have memories of happy moments and genuine connection, their internal struggle with vulnerability can make it seem like they never cared. But in reality, those moments were real for them too. It's just that their fear of emotional closeness often overrides their desire to maintain the relationship. Understanding this can be a game changer. It's like getting a peek into the manual of their behavior, a manual that explains why they act the way they do. Avoidant attachment isn't a one-size-fits-all label. It comes in two main flavors: dismissive avoidant and fearful avoidant. The dismissive avoidant type tends to downplay the importance of relationships and often appears emotionally distant and self-reliant. They might come across as aloof or uninterested, but this is usually a defense mechanism to protect themselves from getting hurt. On the other hand, the fearful avoidant type craves intimacy but is simultaneously terrified of it. This creates a push-pull dynamic where they might seem loving and attentive one moment and then suddenly withdraw the next. It's like they got the manual on love, but someone ripped out the chapter on emotional expression. They want to be close, but their fear of rejection and abandonment makes it incredibly difficult for them to maintain that closeness. Think of them as two sides of the same emotionally distant coin. Both types struggle with vulnerability, but they express it in different ways. The dismissive avoidant might seem like they don't care at all, while the fearful avoidant might give mixed signals that leave you feeling even more confused. It's a complex dance of emotions, and understanding these attachment styles can help you make sense of their behavior. So, what can you do with this information? Well, for starters, it can help you find closure. Knowing that their behavior is more about their own fears and insecurities than about you can be incredibly liberating. It can also help you approach future relationships with more empathy and understanding. You might even recognize these patterns in yourself and take steps to address them. Understanding these attachment styles can be like finding the missing manual to your ex's behavior, helping you make sense of their confusing silence. It's not about excusing their actions, but about gaining a deeper understanding of the complexities of human emotions and relationships. This knowledge can empower you to heal and move forward, armed with the insight that sometimes people are just doing the best they can with the emotional tools they have. So, the next time you find yourself puzzled by an avoidant ex, remember that their behavior is a reflection of their own struggles, not a measure of your worth. And with this understanding, you can navigate the complexities of love and attachment with a little more clarity and compassion. Dismissive avoidants are the kings and queens of "I'm fine, everything's fine," even when they're crumbling inside. They value their independence like oxygen, and often view emotional closeness as a threat to their freedom. These are the folks who'd rather eat nails than have a heart-to-heart. But here's the twist. Beneath that, "I don't need anyone" exterior lies a fear of vulnerability. They're not heartless robots, just masters of emotional suppression. They might miss you terribly, but would rather walk barefoot across Lego bricks than admit it. Now, fearful avoidants are a different breed. They are often misunderstood, and their actions can be perplexing to those around them. They crave connection like a plant craves sunshine, seeking warmth and affection to thrive. This need for closeness is deeply ingrained in them, and they yearn for the comfort and security that comes with intimate relationships. But the moment things get too close, they pull back faster than you can say commitment. This sudden retreat can be startling and confusing for their partners, who may feel blindsided by the abrupt change in behavior. It's a constant push and pull, a dance of come closer, but not too close. This delicate balance is their way of managing the intense fear of vulnerability that they experience. They want to be close, but the fear of being hurt or rejected makes them wary. This conflicting behavior stems from their fear of both intimacy and rejection. They are caught in a paradox where they desire deep connections, but are terrified of the potential pain that might come with it. They're caught in a perpetual loop of wanting love, but fearing the potential hurt that comes with it. This internal struggle can lead to a lot of emotional turmoil, both for themselves and for their partners. So they keep their distance, even when it hurts them just as much as it hurts you. This self-protective mechanism is their way of avoiding the deep-seated fear of abandonment and rejection. Understanding this can help in navigating relationships with fearful avoidance, offering them the patience and compassion they need to feel safe and secure. Here's the crux of the issue. Both dismissive avoidance and fearful avoidance experience an internal battle royale when it comes to their exes. On one side, you have the lingering feelings, the memories that pop up like unwanted ads, the undeniable pang of missing you. On the other side, you have their trusty sidekick fear. Fear of vulnerability, fear of rejection, fear of repeating past relationship patterns. And guess who usually wins that fight? Yeah, fear is a bit of an overachiever. So, what does this all mean? When someone you care about suddenly goes silent, it can feel like a punch to the gut. You might start questioning everything, yourself, your relationship, and even your own worth. But let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture. It means that when your avoidant ex goes radio silent, it's not necessarily because you don't matter. In fact, their silence often has more to do with their own internal struggles than with you. They might be dealing with a whirlwind of emotions that they simply don't know how to handle. Their silence is a coping mechanism, a way to manage the overwhelming emotions bubbling within. Imagine feeling so much that you can't even put it into words. It's like being caught in a storm without an umbrella. The easiest way to deal with it? Shut down, go silent, and hope the storm passes. It's their way of protecting themselves, even if it feels like they're shoving you away with a 10-foot pole. This defensive mechanism is not about you. It's about their need to create a safe space for themselves, even if that space feels isolating to you. Remember, just because someone struggles to express their emotions doesn't mean they don't have them. They might be feeling a lot more than they let on. Their silence could be filled with unspoken words, unshed tears, and unresolved conflicts. It just means they haven't learned how to navigate the choppy waters of vulnerability, and maybe need a good therapist to guide them. Therapy can be a powerful tool for those who struggle with emotional expression. It offers a safe space to explore those deep-seated fears and anxieties, and to learn healthier ways to cope. Other methods like mindfulness, meditation, and even physical activities can also help in managing these overwhelming emotions. These practices can provide a sense of calm and clarity, making it easier to face the emotional storms head-on. Communication is key. Encouraging open dialogue, whether through writing, talking to a friend, or joining a support group, can make a world of difference. It helps to break the silence and build bridges of understanding and empathy. So the next time you encounter silence, remember it's not necessarily a reflection of your worth. It's a complex coping mechanism that can be unlearned with time, patience, and the right support. And in that journey, there's always hope for better communication and deeper connections. Now, how can you tell if you're dealing with an avoidant ex? Look for the patterns. Do they pull away when things start to get serious? Do they prioritize independence over emotional intimacy? Do they struggle to express their feelings or brush off emotional conversations? If this sounds familiar, chances are you've encountered the elusive avoidant. But remember, labeling someone isn't about placing blame. It's about understanding their behavior so you can navigate the situation with a bit more clarity. So what do you do when you're stuck pining after an avoidant ex? First and foremost, be kind to yourself. It's okay to feel hurt, confused, and even a little angry. Allow yourself to grieve the relationship and the expectations you had. Seek support from friends, family, or a therapist who can offer a listening ear and helpful advice. Remember, you're not alone in this. Many people have navigated the choppy waters of dating and breaking up with an avoidant individual.